I'm Antonia. I'm a barrister. Here to introduce Paul and myself in safeguarding fundamentals. I say I'm a barrister. I work in safeguarding and in the UK and internationally. Paul and I came together a couple of years ago to set up safeguarding fundamentals to engage as many people as we can to stop child abuse and exploitation in the UK and around the world. For us, it's all about making a real difference and empowering people with knowledge and information for them, not for anybody else. So that's kind of what we're about. It's about empowering people and making things as simple as we possibly can for people so they can help us to stop child abuse and exploitation.
Yeah, and as Antonia said, my name's Paul Stewart. I'm a former International and Premiership footballer. I came forward in 2016 and disclosed the abuse that I endured at the hands of my youth team coach, which set me on the path to a life of devastation and destruction, is the only words that I can say. But since 2016, I've been working within safeguarding. I predominantly go around the professional football clubs and deliver safeguarding sessions to the young scholars in the academies. And I've also worked with schools and colleges and other organisations. I've been fortunate to be awarded a doctorate in literature from Salford University for the work that I've done in safeguarding. But for me, it was all about making a difference. And I think that safeguarding fundamentals, along with Antonia's knowledge and my experience, we can help bring safeguarding to everybody that has a touch point with children in whatever activity that they do, not just in football, but any sports or any extracurricular activity that is done where children and vulnerable adults are involved. And as I said from the onset, my only initiative or my only goal is to make a difference and make sure that the children of today don't endure what some of the children in our past have had to endure, and that we can make any activity a safer place for them.
And I think that's where we both come together. It's everything is about making it real for people. It's about making everything relevant so that people can understand it and not be frightened of safeguarding, because at its core, safeguarding is quite simple. But it's a word that people are really worried about, and people shouldn't be. It's just about helping, knowing, getting the knowledge that you need to know, so
yeah,
you can act on it. And that's where we both are. It's about being real and making.
Yeah, I notice still when I go into organisations, Antonia, that there is a resistance against safeguarding because they think of the procedures and policies, and they think about what's being put in place, and it's as though sometimes it's there to stop people doing their job, when it's completely the opposite, as you and I know. Not only are we protecting the children when we implement these procedures and policies, but we're also protecting the individuals that are coaching or looking after the children in whatever capacity that they do, so that they feel safe in the knowledge that they're doing it right and that there will be no issues further down the line. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to, and what we will do with safeguarding fundamentals is make it simple and easy for them to understand. You know, a lot of the jargon surrounding safeguarding can sometimes scare people and frighten them from wanting to be involved. But as you and I know, it's simple. We can make it simple and make it very understandable for them.
Yeah, it's just making it and putting it in ordinary language and taking that fear factor away, so that people just know the simple steps they can take, everybody can take, just to keep children safe. And if we all do a little bit, it will make a massive difference.
And I think it's important that people know that we're not just coming from nowhere with our experience. I mean, I come from a lived experience background, but I've also been and taken the courses and studied safeguarding, so that when I am delivering my sessions, I come with some education behind what I'm saying. So you know, it's important that people know that we're not just we're not just plucking things out of the air here. We're coming from very experienced backgrounds.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't talk about my background hugely, but my background is criminal law, and that's where I started. But for the last sort of 10 years, I've been writing courses for a company called High Speed Training, and those courses we did one together.
Which has been successful as well.
Also signed off by the NSPCC and the EFL and places like that. So, but I write courses across the whole of the spectrum of safeguarding, so exploitation, online harms, that's all in the bag. And also I'm massively into supporting people in their roles, sort of safeguarding lead roles, and that's a big part of my other business as well. So,
and you also work within the education sector, don't you? I mean, you've done a lot with BSLs and DSOs through the educational sector.
Yeah, that's a big part of, I think, this whole project of making safeguarding real, is to make those who lead in those roles really well supported, so that they don't feel vulnerable either, getting them the best support and the well-being, because it can be really tricky out there, being
and I have to say,
scary,
I have to say, within the work that I've done, Antonia, now over the last 5 years within sport, I've seen a massive shift within, or certainly how sport is taking real notice of the importance of safeguarding and the importance of the children that are in their charge, and trying to make it the best experience that they can whilst in a safe environment. And from when I started over 5 years ago to present day, I can see the difference not only within sport, but all across the board, how it really is making an impact on the children and their enjoyment at
their well-being
venues, and their well-being at the venues where they're taking part. So there has been giant strides and giant steps made, but you and I know, in this day and age, we need never be complacent. These people that want to form any sort of abuse on children are still out there. They're looking for different methods in which they can access the children, and we've got to make sure that we're on the ball all the way down the line, so that we're there to prevent it where we can.
And I think that's where your voice has allowed other people to have a stronger voice, and your absolute desire to empower those kids with the knowledge that they need to keep themselves safe. And that's the key to it, isn't it? It's empowering people with knowledge and skills. But the fundamental bit is the kids. If we can support them.
Yeah, we need to take away. We need to take away and I say this an awful lot, but we need to take away the fact that they are footballers, they are athletes, they are sports people. These are children, and we need to look at them as children and make sure that they are treated as such, because the importance of their well-being, it overrides anything that the clubs, that the organisations want them to achieve, in my opinion. And in all honesty, the truth is that if you've got happy children that feel safe in an environment, they're going to perform better. So, in the long run, you're in a win-win situation.
And I mean, genuinely, thanks to your voice, I think a lot of it is down to your voice, has enabled people to have a voice of their own, and it's enabling kids to have a voice. And we need to push that out as big and as loud as we can.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I think.
And let's hope that this channel does help an awful lot of people to understand. They can come along and listen to, hopefully, experiences of other people. We can also hopefully invite guests on from time to time that'll talk about their experiences and what they've seen and what they've been through, and all of it, hopefully, all together, will just give people that confidence and make them realize that safeguarding isn't science. isn't rocket science. It's something that can be taken on board quite simply. And if we make sure that we follow the guidelines that are set out, then we know for sure that the children are going to, again, enjoy the experience that they're having in whatever area they choose to either play sport or whatever that is.
We'll certainly think of some innovative things to put on here.
Mm.
We certainly will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like. Okay.
Yeah.